Thank you. All right. So I have two brushes here. I have my favorite OAS flow brush small. I have some water and I'm painting in a very small area. So just to let you know that I may be bringing things on and off the camera here. And I have a standby of a fine line brush in case I need it. I have an extra flow brush here in case I'm doing demo. So in case I want to keep my colors pure, I can use that backup flow, second flow brush. Well, I have some paper toweling, some moisture if I need to. I've misted my paints. You can use this inexpensive palette. This is the OAS companion colors 8 to a set, or some Gansai colors. These are the Japanese watercolors. They're very high quality colors. Right? I have glass paper, GLASS, and it's very non-absorbent. I chose it because I want you to be able to see the strokes as I create them so that they'll be clear for you when you paint your own. I also have some ink and going to load it my brush with ink, and we're going to paint the center of the image first, right there. And earlier in the lesson, we talked about these center strokes, which would be the chrysanthemum. This is King Protea. And then the bracts, which look like the petals. These would be similar to the bamboo leaf stroke, right? And the leaves would be a water drop stroke. These leaves on this particular Protea look similar to that of an olive tree leaf. Here's my olive tree leaf, like that, but they're wider. Some varieties of Protea have these more narrow leaves too, and others have a flat leaf. I'm going to paint mine using this leaf like that. And I've set up my example. I'm looking at it. Usually in Asian brush painting, we look at what we're going to paint, we study it, and we can sketch it, and then we commit it to memory. And when we paint, we're only thinking of the strokes that we need to use to create that image. So, so for me, I've decided to paint it in color, and I want to use some purple. So I'm going into my companion color, which has companion colors, which has a nice purple. It's a reddish purple, more like a lavender, unless I load it up really thickly, deeply, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load it up quite a bit, and it's not going to be watery, so I'm going to get rid of any of that excess water. I have a water bowl here, and I'm scraping off extra water. Okay. When I'm happy with how much paint has come onto my brush, and I'm going to tip it in black with black ink. And I'm going to make a little dot on my paper. And you can do this actually on your paper, or you can do this in your mind's eye. That dot there will be the top of my my flower, and I'm going to put another dot here, but this can also be in my mind's eye right there. That second dot is where the stem is going to be. So I always will be aiming towards this to know where these petals or bracts would go. Right? Don't want to be painting them out this way or that way. That will give me a disorganized looking flower. So with an upright brush, I'm going to create that center. I'm going to press and then pull and press and pull. And I'm going to show you the example of the finished painting too, so you can see where we're headed. My finished painting. So we're going to create this part first, then the petal, then the bracts, then the stem, part of the stem, and the leaves. Okay. And I'm going to go from left to right and right to left so that it becomes shaped the way I want it to look. And if you're using a more absorbent paper, you don't have to press as hard as I'm pressing. But because I'm using a non-absorbent paper, I need to make my indications clear. Otherwise, it's going to look very tender. Okay, so there I have a nice little center here. And notice how everything's headed towards this dot and everything emanated from this other dot here. So I'm happy with my center. Going to clean my brush off of my purple and load it up with some orange. You can get 2 shades of orange or start with yellow and orange and then tip it in red if you want to. You can tip it in purple also because my example has a purple tip, which is nice too. They're orange and purple are opposite each other on the color chart, and that'll make it pop a little bit. Just be careful not to add too much purple to the tip because it'll get muddy. Take my brush off. And we can dip it in that same purple right here to marry the 2 parts of the flower, make it harmonious. And I'm not going to blend it, just going to leave it like that, just that little tip. So the next part of the flower is from here. And we're going to start in the back of that flower. Right there. So with an upright brush, let's see if I can give you a good view of it. Where am I going? I want to make sure that it's on camera. Here we go. And here's remember, this is where my dot is. So that's the way I'm going to be painting my stroke. Press, pull. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of water because I'm painting on a very non-absorbent paper, right? I press, pull, press, pull, press, pull, coming towards here. Press, pull, and I'm going right into my flower, the center that I created a little bit to show the connection. Press, pull, press, pull. So when I come here, this is the back side of the flower. All right, I created the rows where you see the inside. You're seeing the inside there. This part is the outside. So just, I'm going to shorten my stroke, but always keeping in mind where I'm heading. So little stroke here. Right, like that. And one petal might have started to fall off. So let's kind of create that. There, like that. And this one might be a little taller to give it a little bit of interest. Okay. So there's my shape. I want to leave room for the stem and for the green brack. So I'm going to change my color again, clean my brush off thoroughly, because if I mix orange with green, I'm going to end up with maybe a brown. I definitely don't want that. We want a nice olivey color green. So if you're using companion colors, you can take your green and mix it with a little bit of yellow, and you'll get a light green. And you can touch it to black if you want to as well. Get a little bit of nature colors in. Make that warm. All right, I'm going to test it. You can always have a piece of scrap paper here to test, to see if you like it. Better to put it down on the scrap paper than on your beautiful masterpiece, right, before it's ready. Okay. And we're going to just elongate these upside down V shapes, that always coming towards that part, that idea of the flower having a step. Okay, there's my bracts. Here's a stem. So I got a little bit off the beaten path here. Let's make that there. I'm going to just do part of my stem, because I'm going to add some leaves, and I might want to cross that stem. Like that. So if I want to round my leaf off, I come out and I turn. If I want it to be pointy, then I say straight up and down. Okay. Press, pull, round that leaf off. Elongate my stem a little bit and add some more leaves. Press, pull, Remember, we don't want things to be too parallel. So turn it so that it doesn't look so parallel. Have somebody come in, another leaf come in here. Okay. Here's my flower. And you can add another one, another flower or two next to this one. You could add a flower over here. You could have some bees coming in, a little birdie sitting in the corner, because this is a little centered and we want it to look asymmetrical. Thank you for watching.